So I wanted to talk about something that I learned in grad school that I think was sort of a confusing message, was that we needed to really separate therapy and our therapy services from religion. Basically, the main kind of point was that as a therapist or as a person in the world of psychology, we understand that humans actually created God, that the concept of God is really just a fear response because humans needed to answer these questions about like why we got here, why do we exist, why do people go through certain experiences, and it's just kind of what humans did to have answers to these questions. So that's kind of what was really preached as the belief in grad school, which I think can send a confusing message because every single human, it doesn't matter who you are, has some set of beliefs, have some set of values and morals that they live by. And whether you want to call that a religion or you want to call that whatever, I truly am kind of getting on here to talk about this and to really just address the idea that while we simultaneously learn psychology and understand the world of psychology, understand how humans think and the complexities of all of that, while we learn about that and learn about our own biases and how extremely important it is for us to be able to keep our biases in check and to not allow those biases to infiltrate our therapy sessions, I think that is extremely important, right? Because we can actually cause a lot more harm than good by basically pushing our clients to have the same set of beliefs that we do, or to even break down their beliefs because of ours. Like, that's harmful. What I would say is that that's important, but I think one thing that is not helpful, or that was kind of confusing coming out of grad school, was that what about me? What about my own belief system? Does that mean that because I have to divide this, that this aspect of humanity, right, is something that I need to throw away, or that it can't exist, or that it shouldn't? And I didn't feel that there was some good space for that conversation in grad school. It's very biased towards the opposite, which is like remove it all, don't even talk about it really. I think that's to the detriment of ourselves as therapists and to our clients, and being able to help them, again, allow them to go on their journey and explore those aspects of themselves. So I'm here. This is an introduction to a little series I'm going to do. I think the best thing for me to do to kind of get this message across to other therapists is that it's really important for us to have a strong sense of self, a strong sense of who we are, how we identify ourselves, what are our morals and our values, where do those things come from? And that really allows us to have a better overall, just a better foundation when we're dealing with our clients. Because as we know, in this field, you're going to hear a lot of really, really traumatic things, a lot of really hard things that people go through, that humans just experience in their everyday lives and their history. And it can be extremely overwhelming and draining. And I think a major area of burnout that therapists feel is not having that strong core sense of who we are, or not doing that work early on, or feeling like it's actually taboo to do that work early on and to take that seriously. And so you kind of are left floundering in these early years of your life when you're kind of like exploring who you are as a human. And then you're like, well, I can't touch this piece because it's not acceptable in my field. And then, you hear all these traumatic events, and then you're sort of questioning, how is it that even what's this issue of suffering, and why would people suffer through these things and like maybe become sort of nihilistic or whatever. So I think it's important, that we clearly identify that there's actually no harm in building your character and your morality as an individual person, that you can actually have that and simultaneously be completely unbiased in your work, and always be checking for that. And then you can also help your clients assess their spirituality in a clinical kind of way. And if that's important to them, being able to help them incorporate that into their treatment and into their life. And I think that that's super, super important part of therapy. And because I'm a holistic provider and I think about things from a very like mind, body, soul perspective, that we have to take allow clients to explore the soul if that's the path that they want to take, and if they don't, then you don't go there. So that's just kind of a tidbit and intro. The way I'm going to approach this series is, number one, to talk about myself and my own journey with this piece. So you'll kind of hear a little bit about kind of what I practice and why it's important to me and how did I get to that place. And then I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the perspective I have, or the concept that has helped me understand mental illness and mental health, and to really accept it, to really destigmatize it, and to really be able to kind of grasp how and why people suffer so much in their mental health. And it just kind of gives me a strong sense of clarity when it comes to this topic, for myself, for my clients, whether or not they have the same beliefs that I do. So hopefully this is interesting to you, and I will kind of talk about this more in the next few videos.